We've all had, or will have, at some time in our life, a moment when someone that we love needs more care than we can personally offer them. But we want them to have the same home comforts. We want them to have the same loving care. We want them to have confidence, and we want them to have the attention that we would want to give them ourselves. So we want them to be in a kind of home from home. Well, here at Woodleigh Christian Care Home, that's exactly what you do get. So let me show you around.
Woodleigh is an award-winning care home and is set in the very heart of Mansfield. With a great mixture of old and new, it has its roots firmly set in Mansfield, as the memorabilia adorning some of the walls can prove. I was met by Angela, the home manager, who took me for a chat with her and owner John Walton.
Woodleigh Christian Care Home has been in Mansfield since 1988 when a group of local Christians from the Baptist Church decided that Mansfield needed a Christian nursing home. I've had Woodleigh since about 2003, so a long time. It's been a family-run business since then, and we have been able to grow and extend Woodleigh. Angela, you've been here for...
Since 2001. Started off as a care assistant here. I went away, did my nurse training, came back as a nurse for many years, and then took over as a manager last year. Woodleigh is a fantastic place to work. The staff are great and the residents are fantastic. It's good to have a boss that I can come to for advice and support as well. We want to be the most homely here at Woodleigh, and our residents just become family.
We've now got the Woodleigh Care Group, and it's really exciting that we can take a lot of the philosophy and the care to a very special new home just called Bailey House Care Home, and that's on Sutton Road on the avenue just opposite the hospital, and that will be a residential and dementia home that's now open and will complement Woodleigh Christian Care Home superbly, so we'll be able to offer a much wider range of care to a wider range of people, and we're absolutely delighted and excited about that.
As soon as you walk through Woodleigh, you get a very homely feeling. There are 41 bedrooms that are a mixture of single and companion rooms. I took a look at two of them. One in the old part, with wonderful features, and in the new part. All have TVs as standard, and of course ensuite toilets and sinks. And everyone is encouraged to bring their own things to make it as homely as possible. As you can see, every room of course has a call system for the residents that sends a signal not only to the wall-mounted screens but also direct to the carers. There's also an assistance button and emergency button for staff if needed. I met up with Donna Butcher, who offered to give me a tour of some of their facilities.
So Donna, we're here in one of these very clever bathrooms that you've got. Now this, I understand, is a hoist so that people can come in the wheelchair, you put the sling around them and then the hoist will take them over and then obviously into the bath.
It does, yeah.
But if you don't want to use that, and we move that out of the way, you've also got, equally if people come in a wheelchair or if they're walking with a Zimmer frame or whatever, you've got this very trick chair. So, do you want to show me what this does and how this works? You've not got any water in there, have you?
No, we haven't,
right,
no.
Okay. Go on then,
Right,
holding on, what happens?
the chair goes up,
right.
and once it gets to a so height, it'll swing round and then start lowering you back into the bath.
As well as the very clever temperature-controlled baths, they have these shower rooms. Again, cleverly controlled, with these great shower chairs that move electronically to allow showering. We then took one of the two lifts up to look at how the home's beds work, with assistance sidebars to aid getting in and out, as well as height, back and leg controls. Woodleigh employs over 50 members of staff. I spoke to two of them, see what the difference is between caring and nursing.
I'm one of the home senior care assistants. I've worked here for 6.5 years. My main role is to provide care and support for the residents and their families. We help residents from different aspects, from personal care to assisting at meal times to promoting independence and choice. We obviously have activities on a daily basis. We have entertainers that come in. We help residents listen to music. We have armchair activities. Just everything that you do in your normal home, but in a bigger organisation, and the whole home feels like one big family.
Well, the job of the nurse is really to support the carers to deliver the best possible care. There's a technical aspect to the job as well. So we deal with feeds, drips, drains, drugs, catheters, anything like that people need to maintain their health whilst they're here.
I also thought it would be a good idea to speak to a relative of one of the residents to get their thoughts on Woodleigh.
Yes, as well as Mum, I've got my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. They're up at the top in the other lounge. Sometimes they're all together, but today we're not. I usually visit them on another day, or Keith will come in, my husband. So it's lovely. I knew as soon as I opened those doors, the feeling you get, it's a real family feeling, and that's what I wanted for Mum. That was the important thing.
Food and meal times are also important, and nutrition and a balanced diet. But there are fresh cakes made every day. As well as modern kitchens, there's a laundry and housekeeping team. There's an on-site hairdresser to pamper and preen you so you always look your best. And even a full-time chaplain. I asked her what her role was.
So as chaplain here, while I do lead Bible studies, we have regular prayer groups, and yes, I will pray with individuals, and if there's a need, then I will meet that need for them. But it's about being there and enabling people perhaps to talk to me, perhaps in confidence about things that are troubling them, maybe things that even their families have issues with. So it's not about just the person as the resident, it's the person as the whole person, and that extends to their family. So whatever their need is, then we will try and meet that need. And sometimes that is about doing something religious, but sometimes it's just about lending your ear and letting somebody lean on you and talk to you, perhaps because they don't feel they can talk to anybody else. They see me sometimes as a bit of a confidant. And I act as an advocate as well in times when some people don't have any relatives, you know, it's that they don't have anybody else to turn to. So I'm there for them to lean on as well.
Obviously it's called Woodleigh Christian Care Home, but I asked her, do you have to be a Christian to be a resident here?
No, Woodleigh's not about people having a faith. Woodleigh is about embracing everybody into the home, but then portraying Woodleigh as a place where Christian values are explored and put into practice. So while we care for people, we don't push religion down their throats, we don't expect them to come in and say their prayers, anything like that. We just practice good care that means we love people entirely, and we expect people to be respected, we show them the dignity that they need, and the value of being a Christian means that we take everything that I feel as a Christian and try and live that out in the way that not only I but the staff and each other treat each other. It's just about embracing Christian values, really.
Even outside, Woodleigh is very calming and tranquil.
They've got a fantastic garden. There's loads of different places to sit out, but whilst you're here, why don't you join in?
There's more than just gardening. If you want to, it's all about joining in. And here's the person to make that happen.
So Kirsty, you're the Activities and Ambition Coordinator. So what do you actually do?
I help support the residents in meeting their social wants. So while the carers help residents with their care needs, I help to encourage social interaction with the residents in more of a community environment. So I help residents get out into the community, so I still encourage personal banking, going to the library, popping out for a bit of lunch or shopping or going to the cinema. Then we have general activities within the home, so whether it's arts and crafts, hairdressing, massage. We regularly use the computers within the home because obviously we've got the internet connection all over. So I help residents with shopping, emailing family in Australia.
So it actually sounds like it's a really fun place to be as
It
well.
is. There's no need to be sat in an armchair when you're old. There's still life in our residence, and we like to encourage people to grip it and take the most of what they can while they can.
And how's this for an activity? They actually have their own residence choir. And remember Paul the nurse? Well, here he is as choir master. I asked him what impact the choir was having on the residents.
The result of us running the choir, we think, is that everybody who's in the choir seems to see the doctor less than the people that haven't yet joined in.
Okay, well, I'll let you carry on with it then. Crack on.
Right, thank you very much. Everybody, Sleepy Jean, please.
Cheer up, Sleepy Jean, oh what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen?
Well, hopefully that's given you some idea of just how wonderful Woodleigh is. But it's a very big decision for both you and your loved one, so do what I did, come down and have a look for yourself. You won't be disappointed.